you doing? I feel like it's been the longest time since I last recorded a video in English for our channel, but I've decided to do it today, mainly for two reasons. Number one, I fear I might be getting a little bit rusty. Secondly, the other day I was reminiscing about the times when I used to be an English teacher. And I remember when I was a teacher, my students would ask me a lot like, "Teacher, soon enough we're gonna finish our course, and how do we make sure we don't forget what we have learned so far and we keep learning?" And I would always give like a lot of tips, depending on which case, because obviously every student is one situation. But overall, whenever people come across the information that I am an English speaker, they would ask me the same question, although in slightly different terms, on how do you practice? My top 10 tips for learning English in everyday life. So my first tip is make English a natural part of your daily routine. When you make a language part of your daily routine, one of the first effects is that you enjoy the process much more, because there isn't that ongoing preoccupation of, oh my god, I need to learn, I need to remember, I need to learn, I need to remember, cannot forget, I need to know, I need to know, I need to know. You're gonna know. It just takes time. But when you make it part of your daily routine, you sort of let go of the fuss and you allow yourself to actually learn and to actually see what works for you to learn and what doesn't. Secondly, people sometimes don't understand that learning a language involves a lot of repeating, because your brain is eventually going to forget. So you need to make sure that your brain understands that something is important and you should not forget about it. So when you're learning a language, it does involve a lot of repetition, and it does involve a lot of hard work, so that your brain and your body understands that this is new ground, and that this new ground is not necessarily something that you have to fight off, you have to embrace. So you can start adding some simple things to your daily routine and making sure those things are in English. For example, there's a new trend nowadays that people are starting to adopt planners to plan their schedules, their days, their weeks, their months, their year. But that's a very good thing to introduce English in your daily life. Instead of writing your notes and your appointments or whatever it is that you're gonna write there in Portuguese, why not writing it in English? Why not reciting the things that you have to do throughout the day to yourself in English? While you're having breakfast, start reciting what you're doing in English. Like, I'm just taking a sip of coffee, or I'm having some scrambled eggs, I'm having oatmeal, this is a cup, this is a glass, that is a cup or a fork, a knife, a spoon, whatever it is that you do. I have fruits, I have papaya. Start doing that. It becomes much lighter as far as learning and forming languages, and as far as the learning load is concerned. Tip number 2. It is important that you keep in mind that the pillars of mastering a language are reading, writing, listening, understanding, and speaking. Because sometimes we focus too much on one pillar and simply let go of the other. My students would always approach me and say, "Teacher, I'm always talking, I have friends from all around the globe, and I always write in English, I play games, I listen to music, I watch movies, and I understand, but I struggle so much with speaking and all, and why is that, teacher? I should understand." And that's the perfect example of what I'm trying to convey here. When you are writing, or when you are watching something, and you are focusing mainly, probably, in understanding, you are not focusing on practicing all the other things that involve the process, of mastering a language. So try to link one thing to the other. So, for example, if you're texting someone or writing a comment or something, try reading that out loud. Or when you're listening to music, try doing that sometimes and just focusing on actually understanding. Like, you know what? I'm gonna try to understand what it is that they're saying, what it is that I'm listening to. So try to make sure you're practicing all the pillars. If you write well, it doesn't mean that you're gonna listen well or understand well, or much less speak well. If you're gonna read the news, read them out loud, listen to music, Try linking one thing to the other. That all adds up to a good mastery of the language. Number 3, don't cling on tools that are meant to help you. That's very much of a slippery slope. Those tools are aka Google Translate or subtitles. It is important that you understand that you can work things out, and the best resource is still you being you. You are your best resource. Whenever you don't understand a word, try not going straight to Google Translate or any sort of translator. Try to infer by context. Try reading the whole paragraph, or when you're listening or speaking to someone, if that person says a word that you don't quite understand, wait a little bit. Most likely, you are gonna be able to understand what the other person is saying eventually. Basically, when you're watching a movie, try turning off the subtitles. I know it's hard, especially because it's gonna be strange at the first moments. I struggle with that sometimes, especially when I know it's an uncommon ground for me, accents that I'm not used to, or words or vocabulary content that are very far away from our element. That's when the learning takes place vividly. Maybe turn on the subtitles, but in English, and try to pay attention to the words, make the associations. When you look up for a definition, why not use an English dictionary like Cambridge or Oxford or Macmillan and look up for the definition in English? So, number 4, keep yourself updated. There is one thing that we forget about language. It's mutable, it changes, and you have to keep track of that. The main goal of speaking a language is communication and trying to connect with another person that speaks that language. So it's important to keep yourself updated in order to guarantee that this relation is gonna happen in the best scenario ever. When you are on social media, which is very much a reality today, try paying attention to the new words that are being used and the words that you're not seeing so much on abbreviations and the way people speak. Read the news, listen to the news, see what's happening out there. Conversation starters might be a little bit underestimated, but they're always a good thing to keep in your sleeve. Alright, number 5, avoid the comfort zone. Mainly for non-native speakers, you learn a set of words and you learn your grammar, you learn your verbs. It's so easy to reach this place where that's it. Avoid the comfort zone of always speaking the same way, the same words, and speaking always about the same subjects. You don't have to be a wholesome dictionary of everything and every content that is out there, but try to learn of some of the things that are out there to make sure that your language and that your repertoire is interesting, is as most complete as it can be.